Good evening. We have a quorum. Roll call, please.
Orlando Navarro, present.
Joe
Lalo Uribe, present.
Lopez, present.
And I'm Minnie Haynes. I'm the chairperson. Thank you. First item, discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees. Thank you very much, Eddie. Approval of the guaranteed maximum price for Trotman Elementary School building additions project for the replacement of the fire alarm system.
Good
Thank you,
evening,
Mr.
Madam
Duncan.
Chair, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, members of the audience. We bring to you this item this evening regarding an ongoing project, the additions at Trotman Elementary School. We are recommending an amendment to the guaranteed maximum price for Trotman for the replacement and upgrade of the school's fire alarm system as required by the new city building code that has come into effect. The cost for this proposed upgrade would be $136,160. I believe there's a breakdown there of the proposal. We have confirmed to the RS means, and it is a cost below the RS means, so it's a good cost that we feel comfortable in recommending. This new building code ordinance requires that building additions that exceed 50% of the original building size must be upgraded with a fire alarm that is called the EVAC system, which basically is a system that replaces the regular normal horn or siren, audible siren with an actual voice, a recording that tells you to evacuate the building. So that's the new fire alarm systems that are being required by the fire department at all new campuses. The City of Laredo Fire Marshal has given UISD 1 year grace period to upgrade the system. At this point, we do have Mr. Randy Hollis with Munoz Architects, who are the architects on this whole project. He has a short brief presentation.
Thank you.
Just to kind of give you a little bit of the background.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Roberto Rodriguez has joined us for the record. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and committee members. This project is a life safety enhancement, as we have on this list, to bring the school current with the current codes. At the time we designed the school, the particular code reference was not in effect, and also the gymnasium was added, which impacted the added this. But I do want to say that this was a bond project that was envisioned to occur at the school regardless. So we're taking advantage of the fact that we still have the contractor on the ground to do the installation. And if we get it done now, it will get in the most efficient fashion that way. So as Mr. Angel said, the voice exiting instructions will be given through speakers, which will basically be replaced throughout the school and with the existing system and in the new areas. So instead of just an alarm, there can be a program to say whatever is desirable in terms of instructions to students when you have an emergency situation. And it'll be in all areas of the school. So just so you can see everywhere that we have here, the lower level, the upper level, the new and the existing will be covered by the new system. So every space will be treated evenly when there is an event. And it's going to be added as an amendment to the current contract for Leyendecker Construction of Texas. If you have any questions.
The voice, will it be like a principal's voice with the instructions, or is it just a mechanical voice, or?
I don't know about this particular system. Usually they're mechanical voices, but they can be programmed. It could even be potentially bilingual if necessary or desired to.
Leyendecker Construction's they're currently working?
Yes, they're currently working. They're just we're in a completion phase on the project, so this will dovetail very nicely.
Mr. Zuniga, so this is an amendment of the GMP. What was the original cost for this school, Trotman Elementary? Or better yet, I guess my question is, with this amendment of $136,000, Are we still within the budget that we had allocated for that school?
No, that's why we're having to change the contract,
Oh,
to
okay.
have to look for other funds. But I think we can cover this. Really, it's a mandate though by our department. There's not much we can do about it in this situation. But we'll find the funds to cover that.
Yeah, I'd like to mention also, if I may, Mr. Uribe, that if you look at the breakdown of the financial report, there is a cost line item for safety and security upgrades. The fire alarm systems we had as part of the bond program, like Randy was mentioning, we had 13 campuses that are slated for complete fire alarm upgrades. And those, out of those 13, Troutman Elementary School is included. That was one of the campuses that was planned as part of the bond program to receive a complete fire alarm replacement. We had budgeted $1,885,000 as part of the bond. We do have a balance at this time of $1,692,000. And that's where the funds are allocated. We had $200,000 allocated to do the Troutman Elementary School. We're well within that budget for Troutman Elementary. And it's just very advantageous to do it at this time when the contractor's already there and they're already doing the alarm upgrades in part of the campus, especially the new buildings. So to ensure that everything is under one system and the same contractor installing the upgrade. And like Randy mentioned, originally it was an upgrade just with straight alarm system. Since then, the City of Laredo Fire Marshal has enacted that new code where every new school now will require the evacuation, EVAC, they call the EVAC system. We already upgraded the ones, like the 9th grade campuses and the new elementary schools are going to have that same type of system. Instead of the alarm, the typical horn, it's going to be a voice, and it's pre-recorded voices.
But the reason that we're doing this is because we exceeded 50% of the construction. If you would have not, if you were at 30%, would this have triggered?
No.
No, it would not have triggered. But we still,
But in the future, they're requiring that in schools now?
Yes,
New
yes, sir.
schools to do that?
yes, sir. And like I said, that Troutman Elementary was one of the 13 schools that we're going to replace it anyway, because it's a very old system that we have in the existing campus. Now, what we installed in the new wing addition and the gymnasium, it's a newer generation that will be easily adapted to this voice evacuation. We'll be prepared for that. But we're really concerned about the rest of the campus, the under basement, on the classrooms downstairs and all that. So
Initially, under the original scope of work, we weren't going to have to, we didn't have to comply with this because we weren't adding more than 50% square footage. But as soon as we added the gymnasium, that triggered this code. And so we had.
So I guess you were looking at putting it in towards the end of the bond?
yes, correct.
Now you just sped it up?
We're moving it up because he really wanted, the fire marshal wanted the voice evac system also in the wing and in the gym. The problem is you cannot have two incompatible systems. The old school, or the existing school had the typical alarm, and that the new wing would require the voice evac system. So the fire marshal gave us 1 year. So we upgrade everything, the existing school plus the new wing.
We're already about 500,000 over budget at Troutman. How's this going to impact it?
Well, we're going to redesignate the funds from the fire alarm system that we have there on the safety and security. We do have $1,692,000 balance. Out of those, there were $200,000 for Troutman Elementary. So we're going to move those to the Troutman additions project. So it won't get affected at all as far as the current balances for that Troutman project. So we have the funds to do this. We're just going to move it to the Troutman project out of the district-wide fire alarm systems, 13 campuses. It's on page 5. That's where it's broken down. The other 12 campuses, we're doing it separately, independently, because that's all we're doing at those campuses. Like, it's an example at Prada Elementary, other middle schools. So we moved the funds to be able to cover this amendment. It's not going to either improve or have a negative effect on the current balances.
Mr. Zuniga, do we have to make a motion to that effect to transfer monies from the fire line item to the Troutman?
No, I don't believe so. I think
Doesn't have to be
that,
specific?
no, the oversight committee goes ahead and approves this project. We'll go ahead and do the accounting portion of it ourselves and transfer the funds over. And approving the project already basically approves the budget for it.
Madam Chair, if there's no more discussion, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the recommended guaranteed maximum price for Troutman Elementary School for the addition to replace the fire alarm system to comply with building code.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. For the record, Mr. Erasmo Villarreal has joined us. Next, we have a discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of additional construction bond project for the installation of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system for kitchen area at Troutman Elementary School.
Madam Chair, members of the Bond Oversight Committee, and members of the audience, administrators. This item we bring for your consideration this evening is a project that has been requested through our Food Services Department. Troutman Elementary School, this time is the only elementary school left where the kitchen is not air conditioned. This project was not included as part of the bond program, even though it was identified on the feasibility studies when the Citizens Bond Committee met to prioritize the projects that were going to be done at every campus. That one was left out, but at this point, we're bringing it for your consideration because we do have an HVAC upgrades project district-wide at this time. And that project is going very well, and it's below budget. We do have a $385,000 surplus under that project. And we wanted to ask the committee if you all would consider adding this project to include it within those HVAC projects district-wide. We do have the funds available, and this will bring Troutman Elementary up to par with every other elementary school. It's just something to benefit our employees and our food servers and the staff at that campus. We are estimating a cost of approximately about $95,000 to do this, including the design fees and test and balance. So, just recommendations if you would add this one project to the bond program.
So, I'm gonna speak to this because I've seen it. My youngest goes to Troutman Elementary, and on Fridays you can deliver food to the kids, and they have you drop it off in the cafeteria. And I've been into that kitchen, and I'll tell you, it is hot. It's really bad, and it's not really a condition that these employees should be subjected to. And I've only experienced it once, but nevertheless, it's hot in here. I didn't know that they were the only school. I thought it was just standard.
It used to be that particular prototype, like Perez, Finley, other VHR, other schools used to have that same design. And the concept at the time, I mean, when the school was designed for 450, 500 students, the concept was that the air conditioning from the cafeteria dining area, once they opened the doors and windows, serving blinds, that air was sufficient. It was sized big, with large capacity and sufficient capacity to cool the kitchen also. And over the years, when the school first started, it was functioning well. At the other campuses also, but as the student enrollment grew, I don't know what Troutman is right now, it must be over 800 students or 900, but, and it's really overcrowded. It has become a big issue. Also, as we added more equipment in the kitchen over the years.
Yeah,
We've done one by one other campuses throughout the years. I remember about 45 years ago, we did Finley Elementary, had the same issue. Wherever the need was of a higher priority because of the enrollment.
Well, and the equipment, you hit it right on the head. The equipment, I believe, has been upgraded to accommodate the students that are there. And because
Correct.
of that,
Generate a lot of heat.
It's a tight, I'm telling you, one time only, and I do it every Friday, but I passed through there. It was just unbearable, but anyways.
It's 85 degrees right now, November the 7th at 6:20 PM at night, so I think it's a necessary item.
And again, what we're asking is if the Bond Oversight Committee approves our request, what we're gonna do is move it forward to our Board of Trustees so we can begin the design phase of the project, and then I think we're gonna go CSP on this one, competitive seal proposal on this one, and then we'll have to bring that back again to the Bond Oversight Committee for your review and your approval to move forward to our Board of Trustees.
But just so that we're clear, Mr. Z, the bond proceeds for the HVAC district-wide improvements, we still have a savings of $394,000.
At this point, yes, sir.
Correct.
385.
Right, 385, and I think projects have already been let out, so that's.
Yes,
That's,
we've done,
So we've got
we're in the
the
pretty
savings.
progress
Yes.
at this
So we
time.
can
Everything's been awarded.
So we can roll this in and still eventually
Yes,
see,
sir.
realize the savings.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, if there's no longer any discussion, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the additional construction bond project for the design and installation of an HVAC system for the kitchen area at Troutman Elementary School.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Rangel. Discussion and possible action to recommend to the Board of Trustees approval of RFP 2016-040, network equipment and cabling for elementary number 28, middle school number 10, United High School 9th grade, and United South High School 9th grade campuses, and RFP 2016-041, surveillance and access controls for the same campuses.
Yes, good evening,
Ms.
Madam
Jensen.
Chair and members of the Bond Oversight Committee. Our recommendation for RFP 2016-040 is to award the $3,127,422.31 to Insight Public Sector, IK Networks, M1, and NetSync as outlined in the agenda.
And this is for the network and cable, the first section of this item, correct?
Yes, so it includes our UPSs, our access points, routers, streaming video, cabling, and paging system.
What
Yes,
line,
system.
what line do you pull it from?
This is from the technology infrastructure. It says technology bond, I think, under each of the schools.
Oh, for each of the schools.
Yes, so in here you have 4 of the schools, so it would be under their individual line items.
Which one, what school is this, 28?
In the detailed financial report, it would be the Highway 359 elementary
Oh,
school.
here it is.
And the 359 middle school.
The 359 elementary, there's 707,000.
Yeah.
Some, what's the other campus?
Middle school 10 and the 2 9th grades.
Middle school will be designated as Highway 359, middle school on page 3. There's a budget of $1,037,000 for that campus.
And nothing has been expensed yet?
No, no, this would be the first.
In the 9th grades, United South and United 9th have a budget of $1,058,659. Also, it hasn't been.
Madam Chair, I don't have any questions. I don't have any questions.
I motion to approve.
I did have a question as to how it's broken. It's got the vendors, but you don't have it broken down by the schools?
It's broken down by the schools if you look at the detailed tabulations. If
Further
you'll
down?
keep going down.
Okay,
So
I
for
didn't see that.
example,
Okay.
in section 1 for the routers and the voice,
Okay, I
it
hadn't
would
gone to
be,
that page,
yeah.
okay.
I'm sorry, it's a lot. But the reason we bid them out together is, to be able to get a better price. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
all one
understandable, but I was
project,
just
yeah.
wondering how.
And then that would be for section 1, and then you would do the same for section 2, in section 3 all the way to section 8, so.
Are all of them local vendors or there's some from out of town?
No, there's some out-of-town vendors. I think only M1 is a local vendor. I believe the others are out of town.
Yes, they got offices in McAllen and San Antonio, but they do have a local presence. They have engineers. That was part of that was a requirement on the RFP.
And they have a local rep?
Yes, to have a local rep engineers here in Laredo. So that if any of our equipment breaks down, they do have a
The
turnaround
response
for
time
us.
and all
Yes,
that.
sir. Okay.
Is anyone willing to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion that we recommend the Board of Trustees to approve RFP 2016-040, network equipment and cabling for elementary schools, number 28, middle school number 10, United High School 9th grade campus, United South High School 9th grade campus, and RFP 2016-041, surveillance and access controls for elementary school number 28, middle school number 10, United High School 9th grade campus, United South High School 9th grade campus.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries.
And just for clarification, the RFP 2016-041 for the surveillance and access codes is being awarded to M1 Networks.
For 645,470, and that's also for the 4 schools. And the breakdown is provided on the tabulation right there.
Do I need to read the motion?
No, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Current bond project status report?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Bond Oversight Committee. Tonight I wanted to go over the summary of the projects as they picked up momentum since we've had a little better weather as of late. So starting off with the new school projects that we have at New Elementary School number 28. It's on target to open for August 13, 2017. We're at 65% completion. For the new middle school number 10, that one is on target as well for October of 2017, and it's at 32% completion. I have, as part of the packet, all the backup with photos and other pertinent information showing what the status is like. United South 9th grade campus, together with United North or United 9th grade, is at 79% and 80% respectively. Those, as you see in the presentation, are moving right along. San Isidro Elementary School, which we started a few months back, is at approximately 21% completion. And Alexander 9th grade, which we just broke ground on last month, is at 6% completion. Actually, I think they've already done a pour of the kitchen section, so they're moving quickly on that as well. And on the additions and renovations projects, Trauman Elementary School, classroom wing addition, main building and renovations. That one, so we have a date of December. It's around 96, 98% completion, and we're pretty close to getting a certificate of occupancy for that one, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. As well as Arndt Elementary School, as you can see, they're around 92% completion with another month to go. And that pretty much wraps up the projects that we have ongoing right now.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The bond program financial report, Sam?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. There hasn't really been much activity the last 30 days. You can see we're still at 54% of overall expenditures. We did get one exciting news. We had a reimbursement from an E-rate funding that I believe Mr. President is going to expand on. It's in the network infrastructure and upgrade for the middle. We received about $1 million, and $914,000 of that went to reimburse some of the bond programs. But I'll let Mr. Pettis continue with the presentation.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I don't know if you remember that I came to you about a year ago when we were just bringing our projects to do cabling and electronics at Alexander and some of our north campuses, and we submitted for E-rate funding. Well, thank God we got funded, so we're putting money back into the bond fund to be used for whatever we need to use it later on, whatever projects we present to you. So I just want to give you the good news on that. I'd like to give credit to Rene Cruz. He's our Director of Technical Services. E-rate, it's a very, very complicated process. A lot of people think that you just apply and money comes to you. We go to an average of 30 audits before we get awarded that money. Did you get this signature right? Did you bid it correctly? Did you post it for so many days? The rules are so strict that if you missed one little rule, that's it. You get denied the funding. So I want to give credit to Rene and also Corey for posting the advertising in time, complying with the law. So it's just to give you some good news. We're putting money back into the bond.
And that money has to be put back into the bond by law or something? We have to do it?
There was actually a breakdown based on the projects that were submitted, and some of them were general operating projects. So out of the $1 million, close to $100,000 went back to the general fund. The rest were bond projects, so $913,000 was credited back to the bond fund.
So we were able to reimburse some?
Yes.
Some general fund stuff?
That's pretty much why you can see the percentages stayed the same as that huge reimbursement that we received. And then just to let you know, Veterans Memorial is finally closed out. We're at 100% at the top middle. That project, we moved the balance of $910 down to the Alexander construction.
Everything helps.
Yes, everything's gonna help.
Well, I think they did such a great job, they should get a cut of that, you know, back to their department.
They asked.
Yeah, I tried that.
The refund was enough. The refund was enough. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions.
Hopefully that good news could make the media, you know. We hope that.
Sure, I think Mr. Pettis, Mr. Pettis is available for questioning after the meeting.
Yes, Judy.
That's awesome. Great news, guys.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Is there anything anyone would like to bring forth under the open agenda item? Do we need to set a date for our next committee meeting?
Well, the next date, according to our bylaws, would be the first Monday in December, which is December the 5th. We still need to discuss with staff whether there's items that we would need to bring forward, so you wouldn't mind just give us maybe a week or so to see what's on the table, and I'll contact the committee, see if that day would be available, or redo that date.
Okay, thank you. Did anyone sign up for public comments?
Oh, ma'am.
Thank you. Then, there being no further action items, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.